The Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Pride Seeds, Cruiser Max Vibrance Beans, and High Stick NT.
One of the more common questions we're getting from growers this year in particular is how do I control tufted vetch, a perennial legume weed, in a crop like soybeans, an annual legume crop? And it's really difficult. There's virtually no way to do it once that soybean crop is up. We have a research trial here specifically designed to look at pre-plant herbicide options to manage vetch. I'm excited to say we found a couple of things that look very promising, and I want to share them with you. So our first treatment here is glyphosate tank mixed with a herbicide called Optil, which contains Pursuit and Aragon, and then we have an adjuvant called Merge. And when I was here 2 to 3 weeks ago, it actually was very promising. That Aragon portion of that tank mix was really burning off that vetch, and I was optimistic. Cautiously optimistic, because I know sometimes with perennial weeds they can grow back after that burn, and that's what we're seeing here. We've suppressed the vetch, but not good enough. So this is where we look to see, well, can we add anything to this mixture to improve vetch control? And that's where the next treatment comes in. So this is where I get excited. We added one active ingredient to this particular tank mix, and that herbicide is called 2,4-D ester. Now we can apply 2,4-D ester pre-plant 7 days ahead of planting soybeans at a rate of 320 milliliters per acre. When we've added it to that glyphosate Optil Merge tank mix, we get really good vetch control. This is 6 weeks after application, and you can see that the vetch control is really good, especially when we compare it to the untreated check or the control plots. And the benefit of saying, well, why have Optil in here? Why not just have 2,4-D ester, can easily be shown in the next plot. So this treatment here is glyphosate plus that 320 milliliter per acre rate of 2,4-D ester 700, and again, really good vetch control, and really optimistic about the vetch control 6 weeks after application. The advantage of adding something like an Optil with 2,4-D ester is you'll notice in this plot all those little annual grassy weeds, those broadleaf weeds that have escaped. And that's because 2,4-D ester and glyphosate, they clearly have no residual weed control. And so if you're really challenged with spraying acres and spraying in a timely manner, the addition of Optil does give you a little wiggle room, some residual control to keep that field clean early on. So that's where that comes into play. So this plot here illustrates why a lot of farmers ask about controlling vetch in soybeans. This is a pre-plant burn down rate of glyphosate at 1 liter per acre, so the old 1x rate of glyphosate, and quite clearly it's not doing an adequate enough job of controlling this perennial legume weed. We can improve control when we increase the rate with glyphosate, but even when we increase the rate of glyphosate, we still have some unacceptable control, and that's why I'm really encouraged by the addition of 2,4-D ester. And so in this plot, here's an example where we increase the rate of glyphosate now to the 2x rate, so the old 2 liters per acre, and we've got better control of vetch, but it's still not appropriate enough. But if we walk behind here and look at this last treatment, this is a duplication of what I showed you before. It's the best looking treatment and everything we've looked at here. We're getting great control of vetch with 2,4-D ester that we've added to glyphosate, and then we get great residual weed control with the addition of Optil, which is that Pursuit and Aragon mix, along with the adjuvant Merge. So of 14 different treatments here, this is the one that's the most pristine and gives us the most hope for being able to control vetch in soybeans. So clearly we have to replicate this trial over more years to get more comfortable with it. But I would make this point. 2,4-D ester seems very promising for controlling vetch. 2,4-D ester is registered for use pre-plant in soybeans, and it's very inexpensive. So if you're really struggling with how to control vetch, you've tried everything and it doesn't work, I'd give 2,4-D ester a try because it's cheap. So what's the downside of trying a little bit, especially on those acres that are giving you the most problems?